It's that time of the year, finally, when people start spending time on their balconies. It's so lovely to see that. I think I already spoke about my neighbors. Those that like to sit outside on the balcony and do nothing. It just spreads serenity all over the place. They're sitting outside with a candle on the table, doing nothing. So wonderful. But the energy that I picked up the most today, and it was really hard to shake it off. That's why the song Shake It Off from Florence and the Machine is playing in my head right now. Because there was an energy today that I found that was hard to shake it off. And then I realized that it's probably important for this space here, so I'm bringing it here. And it was the energy of feeling bad about feeling bad. There is something that doesn't really work out as it could or as it should, or not in the timing as it could or it should. And now we're having a problem with this, and then we're talking about it. Going to people, talking about a problem to people. And there comes this like little feeling of, you know, and I know, and we all know that if there is a problem, there is a solution. And the same amount of time that you bring, that's a German word. Anyway, it's the same amount of time that you spend talking about problems, you could invest into creating a solution. You know that, and I know that, and we all know that. But we're still talking about problems. And even if nobody outside makes you feel bad about why are you talking about problems, why are you complaining, look how many solutions are there. There is at least like internalized Abraham Hicks or somebody who is asking you, what are you doing down there? And then you become aware of it, and then you're like, yeah, I understand, I know that I know better, but here I am talking about problem, feeling bad, because problems do feel bad. And then staying there for a little bit longer, and then realizing that you shouldn't be there, and then feeling bad for feeling bad. Here, I pulled a card today that was called Integration. It was a very colorful, balanced card with a yin-yang symbol and Buddha meditating into colors. And the card spoke to me. Talking about problem is a part of the solution. And then someone said, it's all part of the process. So don't be so hard on yourself. That's just one of the energies that I picked up today. Yeah. So I trust that if you found yourself here in my living room, welcome. I trust that if you found yourself here, that there is something for you here. Perhaps something finds you in the right place at the right time. And it helps you connect the dots. And if it doesn't, it might be from somebody else. You can hold space for them. You can like and comment and subscribe to the channel so that it reaches that somebody else. And if you really can't stand being here, you're free to leave and you're free to come back when you're ready. Please use your intuition and use your discernment as always. I started and I had something else to say as well, which is a little intro, and that is thank you for being here. But I mean it, like I'm not saying it as usually, because I'm always saying in every video, thank you for being here. But I mean, thank you for your patience with me while I'm going through this dark night of the soul of the YouTube channel. I think it's actually being called the dark valley of the YouTube channel, when you put a lot of work and you're showing up every day and your videos still get 0 views sometimes. Yeah, I'm still figuring it out. And I appreciate those very few of you that are still here in the room with me and that are showing up for me and contribute to the channel with likes and comments and subscribes and donations and everything. I really, really highly appreciate it. It means the world to me, actually, at this point. And tomorrow, or today, if you're watching this, the day after I film this, which is tomorrow, it's going to be 6 months of me having this YouTube channel. And honestly, maybe because I'm Gemini in moon, I'm divided a little bit. There's a part of me that says, yep, it's been 6 months already and I'm still here and I'm a little bit impatient. And then there's a part of me who says, yeah, it's been only 6 months, I know it takes time and I am patient. And if anything, this 6 months really humbled me, taught me a lot. It was a wonderful experience. And if I have to put a line at the end of all the plus and minuses and pros and cons and make a calculation under the marked 6 months, I would say I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here, and I really appreciate being here, and I appreciate you being here with me. So I thank you once again for any bit of positive energy that you bring into this channel, any bit of your time and attention and did I press record? I did. any comment, any like, any donation, everything, really. Thank you so very much. Yesterday I've been in a flower shop and I wanted to buy myself some flowers, and instead of buying some flowers that would die sooner than later, I decided to plant seeds of flowers here. And I hope you will see them grow in the next months, because I intend this channel to grow in the next months. So that's it. Let's go into the painting. The energy I'm painting here is the energy of air, being red actually, but that red air has blue bubbles of air inside. The red air I would interpret as danger, either real immediate danger or the one that is kind of phantom, potential. The type of danger that seems real to your body because your body doesn't know the difference between what's real or imaginary. So even if you imagine danger, your body will feel like it's in a real danger. That type of a danger. That danger that feels dangerous even if there is nothing and nobody out there in immediate presence. And those bubbles of air are spaces in time and space in which when you enter them, you find a sense of relief. It's like a space of deep presence that kind of comes with a feeling of painkiller relief. That isn't just a removal of the pain and discomfort and the sense of threat or danger, but it also provides you a feeling of relaxation, almost ecstatic relaxation. Open-heartedness. That very, very grounding feeling of being right here, right now, that comes with, for at least now, for at least in this moment and for perhaps the next 15 minutes, or perhaps next one day or next 1 month, I have a space to live. I have enough food. I am here. I can relax and be here. I can appreciate something. I can appreciate having enough paint on the table. I can appreciate having flowers on the table. I can appreciate having a candle. I can appreciate having home. At least for now. I don't know what's going to be in 15 minutes. I don't know what's going to be in a day. I don't know what's going to be in a month. I don't know what's going to be in 3 months or in a year. But I know that for right now, I'm good where I am. And I see when I was scanning the air, the whole air was red, and then there was a lot of these blue bubbles that were pretty much everywhere. They can be outside on a balcony, they can be in a moment when you're opening a door of your apartment. Did I blow myself? No. Opening a door of your apartment. They can be in that moment when you're riding a bicycle in the area where you feel really safe. They can be while you're brushing your teeth in the morning, while you're taking a shower before bed. So there's like very random moments of finding those bubbles of air that just kind of wrap you up for a moment and increase the joy of just being alive, not measuring aliveness through achievement numbers or something external, but just being here right now. Yeah. And then I've encountered another energy. Through walking through the air that is full of bubbles, I have seen that there was something going on with temperature change. And I got a lot of clues that were kind of like a chain reaction. So that was happening in here. And then the general energy that I was picking up from going through that experience was needing to figure something out. Needing to figure something out immediately, right now. There might have been some intuitive hits that you've been receiving, some so-called downloads. Visions, knowing that you are not supposed to know how. Some sort of information exchange happened within you or in conversation with others and the world around you. And there were clues that were given to you. Now I see that that either happened through you, inside of you, or it happened with somebody else, but there was in one way or another that type of a need to figure something out, to understand how, to make it useful, to solve a problem, to find a problem to solve it, to verify it, to explain it, to figure out what's the point of it. So I'm going to share my clues. There is something about something showing up. I'm going to speak very metaphorically. Please use your discernment and your intuition, and you will know what this refers to. If it does. It might be a little bit abstract. There was something about something showing up as a promise of warmth. I wanted to say warmth, but worth came out, which is interesting. I'll keep that too. Something showed up as a promise of warmth and happiness and brand new beginning life or something. But it was very deceptive, just like the sun is very deceptive outside. It's shining every day from the beginning till the end of the day, but it's still cold. And because it's still cold, it forces you to find an alternative way of keeping yourself warm. While at the same time, as the sun shows up as something that is supposed to bring you warmth, there are energies that believe that sun in itself is enough, and that because the sun is there, we don't need other warmth systems. So if there was any other warmth included in your experience, it kind of got withdrawn because there's sun outside, which made the space even colder, which then kind of brought the inspiration and need to employ your creativity and figure out what can you do to keep yourself warm. And you do find it, but you find it in places with things and objects and people and circumstances that you would never guess that would keep you warm, but it does. It kind of widens your horizon about how to live on the planet in this time. And while I was looking into those clues, I was getting ready to look into the cards, and I was making myself cappuccino. So I put milk on the stove, and while I was preparing the cards on the table, actually I wasn't preparing the cards yet, I've been lighting the coal on the candle to burn some frankincense. And at the same time, the milk on my stove exploded and the coal exploded as well, which was telling me that there was like way too much heat coming too fast. There was no signs. You know, sometimes like when you put a milk on the stove, it starts boiling and you can hear it, and then you can come in time and remove the milk from the stove, and then you prevent the catastrophe. But there was no warning signs. It was just all of a sudden milk everywhere, and all of a sudden the coal multiplied itself in multiple pieces, and I've never seen something like this. I've never seen a coal exploding in my, like I was holding it with this, and it just went all over the table. And what I noticed is that the coal, as it exploded, it kept being lit, like each individual piece was on fire, and it worked out in the end. It wasn't able to hold itself as a structure, like it wasn't able to remain together. And it showed me that there is something about a lot of energy coming into a very small space that kind of creates a rapture, because this space is unable to carry all that energy, and then it decompartmentalizes itself. And it might seem like it's broken, and it might seem like it won't work, but it actually ends up working even better. It actually ends up covering even wider space and surface and bring even more opportunity where you can put frankincense on it and create even more smoke. So there is something about there's something about decompartmentalization. I love that word. Where some structure, some space is unable to carry all the energy from somewhere, and it has to break down into smaller pieces. But as it breaks down into smaller pieces, there is a higher possibility that it actually carries the purpose of that space. Then when I looked deeper into it, I saw something about rooting yourself in different places, finding safety and stability and sense of security in multiple places, not putting all of your eggs into one basket, but kind of branching yourself in multiple different areas. I think it has to do something with, like in spiritual spaces you can often, I wanted to say feel and hear at the same time, but hear that you need to create safety within yourself, right? Like you have to go within and create a sense of safety within yourself and not put it on anything outside, and then magically everything works out. Which is true sometimes. What I was saying is creating a sense of safety, yes, within, but also everywhere that is matchable to that safety. So not just holding it for yourself, within yourself, so that you're kind of closed off, but finding it in an activity, in a tree, in one person, in another person, in a space, in time, in bubbles of air, and being everywhere all at once. I hope that makes sense. I feel like that's in the field that is way past of this hyper individualism where you are just safe on your own, you're doing your own business, you don't talk to anybody else, you don't hang out with anybody because you don't trust anybody, you only trust yourself. This is, you trust yourself, and as trusting yourself, you trust multiple places and people and opportunities and activities, and nothing is more important than the other one. It's not that you put your trust and safety into a job and a person. Your sense of safety can be found also in watching people play sport, that type of a sport they usually never have any interest in. But for a moment, when you're passing by next to a stadium and you see people practicing whatever they're doing, football or whatever, and you stand and you look at them for a second, you might notice that super bright light that they're playing under, that there is like some sort of like an aliveness to that. And if you tune into that, you might find a little bit of safety in it. Then you might hug a tree. Then you might find some safety in looking into the future and imagining what could be, if it could be. You might find some safety in looking into other people sitting on their balconies and sharing their serenity. And then this is a part where I looked into the cards and I was really trying to get like, yeah, okay, I understand all of that, but what's the point? And here I land into that energy that I mentioned already. Yeah, okay, I understand, but what's the point? Why are you telling me all this? And then that was the energy that kept me for a couple of hours until I zoomed out and allowed myself to actually look around and look even into spaces that were not designated for me. Sometimes, you know, you find your answers exactly there where you shouldn't be looking. It's not for you. It's like if you operate in one paradigm and then another paradigm is like, oh no, I don't want to live in that world, but looking into that world is exactly where you should be looking in order to find some clue for a problem that you're having. Where you can see that there are two types of curiosity in this world. An adult curiosity that is pretty much solution oriented, where you have a problem and you need to find a solution, and you either need to invent a problem to find a solution for it, or you already have a problem and then you just stay being in that problem and talk about it. And perhaps you don't even want to find a solution, maybe you just want to talk about problems because why not? But you do want to get to the point of it, you do want to figure it out, you do want to have control over it, you do want to make sense out of it. You do want to figure out if the problem has a certificate for having a problem and for being a problem, or is it just wasting your time? You want to see if it's worth it. You want to see if it pays off. Yeah. And then there is another type of curiosity, which is a childish curiosity. The one that just wants to play, wants to do something like this. And then this other curiosity, this childish curiosity, in this space where I was not supposed to look into because it's none of my business, it's somebody else's world, it applies to somebody else, it has nothing to do with me. In that space I peeked in and I was told, yeah, don't take it so seriously. You don't have to take it so seriously, like really, don't, like, you're trying to understand something that isn't meant to be understood. How did I say that? Come on. You're trying to understand something that isn't meant to be understood. Thank you. Don't take it so seriously. Especially when it comes to intuitive insights and clues. Things that you can just know without knowing. Things that you can feel and sense and get a feeling for it, that, you know, if somebody comes and be like, how do you know that? It's like they expect you to have a list of quotes, citations, I don't know, literature, where did you get that? And some of those things that you see and you sense and you just know and you just have a feeling for it. And I don't know, a bird tells you something, a plant tells you something, you hug a tree and then suddenly you know things, or you go to sleep and you wake up and you've seen something in a dreamland that now changes your waking behavior. You can write it down, you can think about it, but sometimes it's really not about figuring it out. It's really not about breaking it so that you can fix it again. It's about playing with it. Like you would play an instrument. And I just noticed how I was just playing with it. And suddenly my mind wanted to make sense out of this picture and make a flower out of it. But I do have flowers over here. I don't need to make more flowers, but maybe these are flowers. But I just noticed how my mind would like to make it make sense to it. And it doesn't have to. Abstract exists for a reason. I feel like here on this side there is like a presence of a very tall lady. Okay, this could be me in like 100 years. But she has a hair like I do, but she's white. Now I'm gonna be white in 17 years already, okay? So this might be me when I'm 50, sending a kiss. Doesn't have to be me though. Might be you. I'm seeing a mask in this flower. I'm seeing a mask here. I'm gonna take a photo of the painting and I'm gonna put it at the end of the video so you can check it out for yourself. And then high quality painting is going to be uploaded in the pinned comments. I feel like I have to leave it here, not analyze it, not look into it. I'm looking into it, but I feel like it needs space to be as it is. This is how it wants to play itself. Yeah. This is how it wants to play itself. So I'm gonna leave it here. Did I say everything that I was supposed to say? Play. Play. Once again, thank you for being